everyone, my name is Vuvu and this is Vuvu Vena Reads. On today's video, I thought I would share with you guys the press drops or the books that I've received so far this year from Jonathan Ball Publishers. And yeah, if you see me in this outfit again, I will be doing another set of books that I've received so far this year. Okay.
So Vuvu Vena _reads is an amazing book reviewer, also YouTuber. She reviews books on YouTube, and if I'm not mistaken, she also has a blog as well. So please, if for your connection with literature, get in touch with or follow at VUVUVENA _reads. She is based in South Africa, and I think it is also extremely important to follow literary content creators who are based outside of the West and in continental Africa, because they do a really good job of bridging the gap.
We appreciate you, Vuvu, for bringing us Turning Pages and for bringing us your BookTube channel.
You know, this is a chance for people to actually see some people that I really enjoy.
Please consider pressing the red subscribe button down below. And if you're a returnee, welcome back, fan.
Vuvu, you're amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
So the first one is The Survivors by Jane Harper. This one is the Sunday Times top 10 bestseller. And just to read you I feel like sometimes when I do these hauls, you guys are interested in what the books are really about, and me just showing you the books might not be doing it justice for you guys. So I'm very aware of that now, because I'm a blind reader and I don't like to overshare books, but I will read you at the very least what the back of the book says. Okay, other than that, you must know that when I pick up the books, I know pretty much nothing about them, because I treat books like a blind date. You know, I want to discover you through you and not through any other form, or you get what I mean, right? So this one is The Survivors by Jane Harper. It says, even the deepest secrets rise to the surface. Ooh. Kieran Elliott's life changed forever on a single day when a reckless mistake led to devastating consequences. The guilt that haunts him still resurfaces during the visit with his young family to the small coastal town he once called home. Kieran's parents are struggling in a community which is bound, for better or worse, to the sea that is both a lifeline and a threat. Between them all is his absent brother, Finn. When a body is discovered on the beach, long-held secrets threaten to emerge in the murder investigation that follows. A sunken wreck, a missing girl, and questions that have never washed away. So this one seems to me to be like a crime thriller of sorts, and I have read crime thrillers here and there, and I don't feel like I have fully gone on the adventure of that specific theme and genre, and perhaps it's time to look into them, because I like, most of them are fast-paced, and I like books that have suspense and conflict, and suspense and conflict as long as it keeps us moving. I like that a lot. Okay, the next book that I got was This Is Why I Resist, Don't Define My Black Identity by Dr. Shola Moss Shogbamimu. Wow, I am so sorry. Dr. Shola Moss Shogbamimu. That's the best that I can do. I'm so sorry, guys, if I mispronounced that. This book is the hard conversation we must have. Black people are often fighting for the right to be judged by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. And now more than ever, white people need to progress. This book demands change because Black people are done waiting. In This Is Why I Resist, activist and political commentator Dr. Shola digs down into the deep roots of racism and anti-blackness in the UK and the US. Using real-life examples from the modern day, she delves into the subjects not often explored and speaks truth to power to challenge us all to make real and definitive steps towards equality. This Is Why I Resist is an unapologetic call to action to end social and racial injustice and a message of resistance against the dehumanization of the Black identity. It's time for us all to take anti-racist action. It's time for a conscious revolution. Ooh, I don't know if you guys are gonna see what she looks like. Guys. Okay, that's what she looks like. That one definitely is for my non-fiction pile, and I am intrigued. Then we have Girl A by Abigail Dean, and the back reads, Girl A, she said, the girl who escaped. If anyone was going to make it, it was going to be you. Lex Gracie doesn't want to think about her family. She doesn't want to think about growing up in her parents' house of horrors. And she doesn't want to think about her identity as Girl A, the girl who escaped. When her mother dies in prison and leaves Lex and her siblings the family house, she can't run from her past any longer. Together with her sister Evie, Lex intends to run to the house of horrors Lex intends to turn the house of horrors into a force for good. But first she must come to terms with her 6 siblings and with the childhood they shared. The next book is Rainbow Milk by Paul Mendes. This one was all over the socials last year and I cannot wait to read it. It says it's an Observer 2020 best debut. I love debuts, guys. I cannot tell you just how much I love debuts. And you guys know that I don't have enough books by Black men. I always say this because I've always felt comforted by books or the storytelling of Black women. But that said, this is the author that makes me even more excited. Okay. Rainbow Milk is an intersectional coming-of-age story following 19-year-old Jesse McCarthy as he grapples with his racial and sexual identities against the backdrop of a Jehovah's Witness upbringing and the legacy of the Windrush generation. Excuse me, do I need to say anything else? But we shall read nonetheless. In the Black country in the 1950s, ex-boxer Norman Alonso is a determined and humble Jamaican who has moved to Britain with his wife to secure a brighter future for themselves and their children. Blighted with unexpected illness and racism, Norman and his family are resilient in the face of such hostilities, but are all too aware that they will need more than just hope to survive. At the turn of the millennium, Jesse seeks a fresh start in London, escaping from a broken immediate family, a repressive religious community, and the desolate, disempowered Black country, but finds himself at a loss for a new center of gravity and turns to sex work to create new notions of love, fatherhood, and spirituality. Rainbow Milk is a bold exploration of race, class, sexuality, freedom, and religion across generations, time, and cultures. Paul Mendes is a fervent new writer with an original, urgent voice. Hello. And then I was Sent the Prophets by Robert Jones Jr. Okay. A singular and stunning debut novel about the forbidden union between 2 enslaved young men on a deep south plantation, the refuge they find in each other, and a betrayal that threatens their existence. I didn't show you the brother that wrote the book, but it won't show properly. That sucks. But this is Robert Jones Jr. Okay. Isaiah was Samuel's and Samuel was Isaiah's. That was the way it was since the beginning, and the way it was to be until the end. In the barn, they tended to the animals, but also to each other, transforming the hallowed out shed into a place of human refuge. But when an older man, a fellow slave, seeks to gain favor by preaching the master's gospel on the plantation, the slaves begin to turn on their own. Tensions build, and the weight of centuries of ancestors and generations to come culminates in a climatic reckoning. The prophets masterfully reveals the pain and suffering of inheritance, but is also shot through the hope, beauty, and truth portraying the enormous heroic power of love. Okay, then the next book is Black Girl Finance. Let's Talk Money: How to Manage Your Money and Get Excited About Your Financial Future by Selena Flavius. Selena, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to say this name. Okay. We don't think about money, do we? We think maths, we think spreadsheets, we think boring. But Selena Flavius, founder of Black Girl Finance, wants to show that there can be another better way, a way to make our hard-earned money work even harder for us. Selena created Black Girl Finance to address the unique difficulties Black women face due to the gender and ethnicity pay gaps. She believes that since we literally can't afford to wait for change, we need to start changing things up for ourselves. From challenging money mindsets to teaching key skills such as how to set up an emergency fund and where to start with budgeting, investing, saving, Black Girl Finance provides a safe place for a community of unapologetic, ambitious, money-minded women to get real about their finances. Kickstart your financial journey with Black Girl Finance, the first financial guide of its kind, packed with tips, tricks, and tools, as well as statistics, personal stories, goal-setting exercises, and straight talking advice. This will be your go-to helping hand when it comes to making your financial goals a reality. That's the author, and I am all for this kind of non-fiction. We need to learn how to handle our money, and we need to learn how to do it best from experts who are like us. So yes, and yes. So the next book is How to Argue with a Racist: History, Science, Race, and Reality by Adam Rutherford. Even though, like, I don't know how much you gain from arguing with a racist, but this is us. Let's see what it says. Racist pseudoscience may be on the rise, but science is no ally to racists. In fact, science and history can be powerful allies against bigotry, granting us the clearest view of how people actually are rather than how we judge them to be. In How to Argue with a Racist, geneticist and broadcaster Dr. Adam Rutherford dismantles outdated notions of race by illuminating what modern genetics can and can't tell us about human difference. It is a vital manifesto for a 21st century understanding of human evolution and variation, and a timely weapon against the misuse of science to justify racism. Okay, it's a curiosity more than, I think the title probably doesn't do the book justice. I'm trying to tie them together, but I am curious about the subject matter, don't get me wrong. This one is Growing Older as a Trans and or Non-Binary Person, a support guide by Jenny Kermode. I want to say, or Kermode. Okay. Drawing on the experiences of older trans people and those transitioning later in life, this is a definitive guide to aging as a trans and or a non-binary person. So interesting, so interested. It covers the key health concerns and social issues affecting older trans people, including care homes, pensions, inheritance, and funeral planning, as well as hormone use and physical changes, isolation, and dementia. Kermode also provides guidance for professionals looking to better meet the needs of these individuals and highlights the important factors that need to be considered at an institutional level to provide the best care for people across the gender spectrum. I don't think that I've seen anything of this nature anywhere before, so it should be quite interesting. Her subject that she is exploring in this and where she's taking it is properly intriguing. Just checking the time. Okay. So the next book is A Net for Small Fishes by Lucy Jago. Today is the 14th day of November 1615. I have known Frankie for nearly 7 years. She is 25 years old and 8 months pregnant. I am 39 years old and about to die or be pardoned. That's all. A net for small fishes. And the last book from Jonathan Ball Publishers is Light Seekers. They already know who killed the boys. Now they need to know why, by Femi Kayode. Yay! These crime thrillers, I promise you, they're going to get my attention this year. I swear to you, it's just there's something in there. 3 young students are brutally murdered in a Nigerian university town. Their killings and their killers caught on social media. The world knows who murdered them. What no one knows is why. As the legal trial begins, investigative psychologist Philip Tower is contacted by the father of one of the boys, desperate for some answers to his son's murder. Philip is an expert in crowd behavior and violence, but traveling to the sleepy university town that bore witness to the killings, he soon feels dramatically out of his depth. Years spent first studying, then living in the US with his wife and children mean he is unfamiliar with many Nigerian customs, and no one involved in the case seems willing to speak out. The more Philip digs, the more people he meets with a connection to the case, the more he begins to realize that there is something even more sinister than he feared concealed somewhere in this community. That is the end of my Jonathan Ball book haul, or yes, book haul. I hope some of these books sounded as fascinating to you as they did to me. Like, I'm sitting here and thinking, girl child, why must we live the lives that we live? Because I just want to read. So that's what I got from Jonathan Ball since the year started. And if you guys have received any of these books, or are curious about any of these books, or have read any of these books, do let me know in the comment section down below. If you want, you can tell me which book you'd like me to read next month from the stash, and I will be sure to add it to my pile. And until next time, thank you so very much for tuning in and choosing me. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye now.